Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel, and if you hear the echo in here, it means we've just about finished this house. So this is episode 6 of the old house and shed cleanup series, a deal that only just popped up in our porridge last week, and we got straight onto it, and pretty much within, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whilst our shop was open, we've pretty well moved everything out of here other than a few bits of furniture. We've already processed a lot of stuff that we've boxed up. Christine did a great job of emptying the kitchen and wrapping all the china, and we've been pricing out while the shop's been open. We've priced out over $2,000 worth of stuff, as you would have saw in the last episode, and I think we've sold a couple of hundred. Plus the bonus is, just this morning I met a lady here at the house, and the retro buffet from down the end there has gone. We got $100 for that, and she was very happy. We've also just had a guy come and pick up one of the recliners. You can see the gap there in the lineup of ugly seats. So that's gone. I think it was just a shed seat for him or something, but whatever, I'm fine. If we give it away, it's great because we don't have to pay to get rid of it, and someone gets something they wanted. So a couple of things gone from the house, bigger things gone from the house. Everyone that's been here, I'm trying to, add on, what do they call it? Value add their sale. I say, here's a nice buffet. Would you like 2 free wardrobes with it? But alas, I haven't been able to have any success there. So anyway, we haven't had any bites on the wardrobes as yet. I've done photos of the other one in the front room, which I haven't listed as yet. Also the kitchen table and chairs I still have to get up on Facebook. But we're getting a bit of success, and I'm pleased that both people that said they wanted something have turned up straight away. The 2 nice retro, Art Deco rocking chairs that we took to the shop, you would have seen in the last episode, I've got a lady coming to get them on Thursday at $100 each, so there'll be $200 back in the kitty. Hopefully she doesn't let me down, but she seems pretty keen, so that's a good thing as well. What I have to do now, I've got a bit of a discovery to show you, and I've already packed up a bit of stuff out near the front door, just the little bits of firewood and stuff, just neatened it up. Still got a bit of rubbish to get rid of, but let me show you something in the kitchen first. We've had a few admirers on this vintage kitchen cupboards, and they're pretty cool, all of them. They're the 1960s in really good condition. Now, they're all built in, so they technically have to stay with the property. That's the rules I understand with cleaning up places, is if you need tools to remove it, then it's a fixture and it needs to stay with the property. Now, given that this place is sold, even though we suspect the developer is going to knock it down, we can't take anything that's fixed. But I was walking past this one just before and thought, well, is it even fixed? I mean, yeah, the lino may be cut around it, but I thought, wouldn't it be great if that's just sitting there? So I reached behind it, and guess what? We can take that, and I reckon that's easily a $150 kitchen cabinet. Probably we could nearly ask a bit more. I reckon someone would fall in love with that cabinet. So next time I'm here with a van, we're loading that in. Unfortunately, its mate up here can't go with it because that is definitely screwed to the wall. But as I have said, we may be able to gut the house for what we can salvage if the new owner is just planning to get an excavator in and smash it all up anyway. So that's the good news for today, plus the fact that a couple of bits of furniture have gone from here. So that's all I'm going to do here now. I'll go and market a bit more stuff on Facebook. I'm happy to meet people here whenever, because it's only a couple of minutes around the corner for me, really. In fact, it's only a small town, Nagambie. Anywhere is only a couple of minutes around the corner. But I've cleaned up the back area here, so it's much neater. I think the owner, or the ex-owner, will be very happy with the cleanup we've done. Just have to also come back and get that small pile of rubbish over in front of the old shed. It's a couple of days later, guys, and I'm in my shed. We've got to unpack some boxes of the last boxes of stuff that come out of the old shed round at this place. Now, you may notice a black eye. I'm not going to go into the story of that now. If you want to find out what happened, go back and watch the emergency store shed episode 64, which I think was the last video out, and I'll explain what happened. Okay, we need to clear up the last of the stuff out of the shed. There's just some random bits and pieces as we cleaned up. Some of it's scrap metal, some stuff can be sold, there's some workshop consumable products, there's some e-waste, and there's also that box that we pulled out of the actual rubbish bin at the place. The lady had thrown out some stuff. We couldn't help ourselves. You have to have a rummage in the rubbish bin. There was some pretty good stuff in there, so we'll check that out as well. So let's get through this stuff. We have some light fittings by the looks of it. What's in here? Hang on. These look unopened. Unopened light fittings. Okay, there's another box in the bottom. That looks to be the same. In fact, oh, there you go. That's probably what they are. Oh, maybe not, because I think that was just one, and we've got two here. And this box that's been opened might well be the other one. Let's put that up there and have a look. It's obviously quite dusty, but it's certainly a modern fitting. Oh yeah, I think this is the same. Oh, it is. All right, so we have three of these brand new. This one has been opened, and it's obviously very, very dusty, but it looks, well, most of the parts are still in their plastic packaging. The hardware, the instructions, and it looks like it comes with a glass shade. Alright, so I'm going to just clean this one up and use this as a display one. I'll have the other two, I won't even open them, and I think we'll sell, look, I don't know how easy they are to sell. I'm going to probably put $20 on the three, and this one, yeah, is the one that people can have a look at. And they'll get two brand new ones never opened and one brand new one that has been opened. But it's very dirty. It's been obviously been opened for a long time. So I'll clean that up and we'll go $20 on the three of those. And that box can go in the recycle bin. Okay, next little box. What's in this one? We have a floodlight globe. Now, I guess we can check it. Although very few people use these old incandescent ones anymore, they draw a lot of power. They're generally at least 100 watt. Oh, no, I actually think they're 500 watt. Don't know if it says somewhere. As it looks very second-hand, there's a fair chance it's blown. I'll just put in that in a box I've got here for light globes to go to recycling. I have a few tools here, a little keyhole saw. I think I can go in the dollar box. One of these scrapers. It's a Scarsden scraper. We get a few of these, and look, people do buy them. That's just going to go in the $1 box too. The head of a hammer actually looks in pretty good condition. Obviously they've broken the handle. I might just check, there is a brand on that actually. Good brand hammers can bring pretty good money. I'll just buff that up and see, but if it's nothing special it'll go in the dollar box. We have some assorted hardware, very dirty and dusty. It's a magnetic catch. It was $1.29 at McEwen's, and that was probably in the 1980s. McEwen's is an old hardware store. I don't even know if they still exist. Some hinges, some random fitting. Oh, they probably suit. I had some retro legs. I think these would suit the retro legs. These are actually cast aluminium, but they're the right angle. So I'll put those with the retro legs. We did put $20 on the set of legs at the shop. Three of them. Do we have the fourth? Oh, I've only got three. The fourth may be in another box somewhere, hopefully. We have a spool from a trimmer. A line trimmer. It may suit the Ryobi that we've got. So I won't throw that out just yet in case we need it. Some little curtain brackets, I think it's just plastic. Another little scraper tool, so possibly for tiling, go in the $1 box. A little test screwdriver, these have a little globe in them, so usually 12 volts, although I think they're 240 sometimes. Now that one's 6, 12 or 24 volts, so automotive test probe. They usually have a wire and a clip on the other end, which I don't think we have, so just in the dollar box with that one. A little string level, it's a Stanley one, just for seeing if your string line is actually level. I'm not even going to bother pricing that above $1 either, that can go in the dollar box. A little awl, that's not much good, it's only rubbish, it's been bent. A tube of rubber cement for patching punctures, and we have a couple of, we have a whole packet of little patches here. Oh yes, I'll keep those here. The glue feels quite good, and I do have a few patches in a tin here for repairs, so I'll keep those. A large galvanized bung can just go in the scrap metal. A brass fitting off something. I don't know what that's off, but it can go in the brass bin. Drill bit can go with my box of drill bits here. And this is a picture hook for the older houses that have the hanging rail up high on the wall. And I've got a jar of those somewhere, so I'll add that to the jar. That's the end of that box. So I just gave the hammerhead a bit of a buff, and it just says standard. I think it's made in the USA. It's a bit hard to read. I don't think it's anything flash. I mean, it might clean up well. It doesn't appear to be damaged, but you know, I couldn't be bothered. I think we'll just put that in the dollar box. If someone gets an absolute bargain, that's good news for me and for them, because they've got a bargain and they'll come back to my shop. So fantastic. That's the best advertising we can do, is let the odd bargain slip through. And people who find bargains absolutely love coming back looking for the next one. Wall bracket set. I think they're just plastic brackets. Don't think it's anything particularly flash. That can just go in the dollar tub as well. Let's get into this big crate. Oh. We have some fuel cans. Now these were just in the front door of the shed. I think they're probably fairly recent fuel. I kept the good jerry can, which had straight petrol in it for the 4-stroke mower, I presume. These could well have 2-stroke in them, because the Ryobi line trimmer is a 2-stroke. So well, they look nice and clean, but the plastic Porex spout has dropped down to the bottom, which happens often on these. And I don't know if you can get them back to the top. I mean, they'll fall back up here, but whether we can sort of clip them back where they're supposed to go, I don't know. It's probably like a bit of a puzzle. I guess we've got to get the right end coming through. It might be a bit hard to do on camera. Well, look at that. It can be done just with a needle nose set of pliers, and you can flex the plastic in a bit and you get it back up through the top. So now that's where you pour it. It's got a little pouring hole through there, and it sits down without falling in, as long as you don't push it too hard. All right, so that's a nice clean can. I don't think it's not old enough to be collectible, but it's certainly good enough to be usable. So I think these would probably sell for $10 to $15, maybe even more at a service station. I think we'll just put $5 on it. And this one has a lot of fuel in it, so I'm guessing this was 2-stroke. There's nothing on here to say it was. But most people have a bit of a system in their shed, and they know which can is 2-stroke and which can is straight petrol. You certainly do not want to put unlubricated fuel in a 2-stroke engine. So I'm guessing this is 2-stroke. Let's have a look. Oh, the things drop down in this one too. Well, it's definitely petrol, and it looks really clean in there. So I'd say it's 2-stroke, but I'm not going to put it in a 2-stroke here. I'll just save this fuel for cleaning purposes, and when we empty it, I'll probably get $5 for this drum as well. Moving on to this crate, what have we got in here? Valvoline 2-stroke oil. We should be able to tell if it's clean oil or not. It's only got a little hole poked through the foil. Yep, that's definitely 2-stroke oil. Can't do that, that's going to leak. So we'll keep this. It's about half full. I'll use it here in the shed for mixing up. I do have a chainsaw I use sometimes, and I don't use a whippersnipper or a line trimmer anymore, not my 2-stroke one, because I bought that Makita rechargeable electric one, and that's great. It does the job really nice around here. But still, we will need 2-stroke fuel every so often, so I'll hang on to that. This one is empty. It possibly was the same. Labels come off. Oh, it's a different top, but it may well have been 2-stroke oil. Might be just a trickle left in that. I'll just pour that into a drum of waste oil I've got here. And then the bottle. I don't think they like oil bottles in the recycling, even though it is a recyclable plastic. I'm not too sure on that. It depends on your council and your country rules, I guess. We could probably rinse it out with petrol and then put it in the recycle bin, but it may have to go in the landfill bin. Here we have a large bottle full of some mystery fluid. There's no label on it. I didn't see a label in the shed. I don't think there's one in the box here. It looks like a kind of a disinfectant bottle. I don't think it's a poison. It's used by August 1998, so it's got a bit of age to it. Just smells like water. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, well, it looks like water, but no guarantees there. No, it certainly doesn't have a chemical smell. I would suggest it is just water. I'd say they possibly had it as a top up their windscreen washer fluid or something like that. So it's always a bit of a dilemma to know what to do with things like that, but I'm pretty sure it's just water. We have a funnel here with a strainer in it. That's actually not a bad funnel. It will wash up fine, and it's handy having the strainer on the bottom. So I might even use that here. I don't have a funnel this size, so not with a strainer anyway. A spray bottle, again with no label. So maybe a cleaning product. Doesn't really have a smell. I'd suggest it probably is a cleaning product, but then again it could be like a weed and feed herbicide, so I'm probably going to have to put that with my garden chemicals to be taken to a recycling station at some stage. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem when there's no labels. We have some paint here. There was a few cans of paint in the shed, and this one feels near full, and it actually doesn't look like it's ever been used. It's nice and liquid inside, extra dark tint. So there's absolutely no signs of any blue paint around the edge. I think that's never been used, so that should be okay. I sometimes have cans of paint in the shop at just $1 a can or $2 a can. People grab them for all sorts of reasons. It would have been quite expensive to buy, but yeah, at least we can get rid of that and someone will have use for it. So there's a few other cans. Oh, this is grease. I thought this was another can of paint. So this is Snow White petroleum jelly, and it's recommended in food processing, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and toiletries. So it's a grease of sort. It's a lubrication jelly, but it's okay for use in situations where you wouldn't put a normal grease. Here's another. Oh, it's gone hard. Yeah, it was a tile adhesive, and it's obviously no good, so that'll have to go in the bin. Here we have some garden poison, carbaryl insecticide. I'm not sure if we need that here. We try not to use chemicals at all in the garden if we can help it, but sometimes you need to. I'm not sure if we have any carbaryl in the cupboard. If we don't, someone may well have a use for that. So I sometimes do put a box of garden type chemicals at the shop for $1 each, and people know what they want, and they know it's expensive to buy new, so that might be an option with that one. This is more of an acid type bottle. Dulux for treating new galvanized iron before painting. So it's some sort of primer. There is still some in there. The top looks like it's a bit dodgy too. That's going to leak if it falls over. We might have to take that to a chemical place for proper disposal. Another little bottle here of insecticide. Control of fruit fly, aphids, thrips. Yeah, well, someone may have a use for that. That's full. So we might put that in with the garden chemicals. And a tin here which was white spraying oil, another garden product. All right. At the bottom we have a spout hanger. I have a box of those, so that can go with that. We have a vintage Pope sprayer. Interesting, that just sprays out one side. That might be actually handy. Bits of sandpaper, some old twist ties, more sandpaper, some plastic that's broken down in the sun. Oh, we have a number 2. Well, that was the address of the house, and our Airbnb house is number 2 in a different street. We might keep that number. and a few nails and various bits of hardware in the bottom of the tub. So we'll sort that out, and then we've only got the white tub and some stuff we got out of the rubbish bin to go through. Okay, let's empty this white tub and then we'll do that other box at the end. I don't even remember what was in this. I think Christine packed this up. I'm not sure. Oh no, there's not much in here. Oh, this was up on top of one of the cupboards. We were surprised there was anything in it. So we have a paint stripper, heat gun. Looks well used. I guess I can test it. The cord looks okay. We have a bag of nails. We'll have a big assortment of nails in a box that I've priced for the lot, so that can just go with that. These are handy. I've actually got one of these somewhere else. It's just a little frame to enable you to use a hacksaw blade without the actual hacksaw. And sometimes it's really handy just to have a little bit sticking through if you've got to work on a little area that you can't get a hacksaw in. Yeah, I'll put that in a dollar box, but they are quite handy gadgets. As I said, I have got one. Here we have a brick bolster, Cyclone one, brand new. Still got the price on it, $17.25. Don't know how long ago that was, but I'll put that in the shop for $15. I think they're probably well over $20 now. So that's good. I don't know what this is. It's made in Japan. Some sort of bracket that end. It looks like that's been ground down for a special purpose. Oh no, it's got a... Looks like it's got a tungsten tip there. I wonder if it's a glass cutter. A serious glass cutter. Maybe it's for cement sheet or something. So you can score it, and then that end holds it and snaps it. Alright, that's my guess. Let me know if you know, but I'm just going to put that in the dollar box. Some wire strippers and crimping pliers. They're only cheapies. I get these all the time. I've got really good pair here. I'm just going to put them in the dollar box. Someone will grab them quickly. Same with a Phillips head screwdriver. It's a bit rusty, but it still looks okay. And that one is a glass cutter. And I've got plenty of glass cutters here. It's branded Red Devil USA. It's probably quite a good one. We might put $5 on that. But I'll just check online. The little wheel feels good. I don't need it here. It's like a buffing wheel. It's like a soft felt. And that's a grinding wheel. They look brand new. They look like they go in a drill. I don't think I need those here. They can go in the dollar box as well. That's an easy way to clean out the tub, isn't it? Alright, we'll check that one a bit later. But look, if it works, I'm only going to put $5 on it. It's pretty rough. As long as it's safe and it works, I'll put $5 on it. If it doesn't work, or if I notice any issues like a cracked case or a nick to the cord, I'm just going to scrap it. And it's only really the cord value. It's very light. So I'll let you know on that one in due course. Let's get into this little box. I might bring the camera a bit closer. Mostly cutlery, but we found this in their rubbish bin, remember? Okay, how much value did the lady throw in the bin? Well, the best bit, I think, is probably this butcher's steel. It's a West German one. What's the brand? I don't know. It says Solingen, which often a lot of West German knives and things say. I think that's a town. So it's a good German butcher's steel or sharpening steel. It's not a particularly old one, but good quality. I think we'd get, or at least 10, 15. We could even stretch 20. I might put 15 on that one. Here's a old style potato masher, I'm guessing, with a pretty cool sort of green Bakelite handle. I don't know if it's Bakelite, it might be plastic. But I reckon that's a $10 vintage potato smasher, not a slasher. Another wooden handle utensil here, a Premier brand. I think that's Australian made. So that's an egg flip, I guess. We'll probably get $5 for that. Really nice, well-worn wooden handle. When I say well-worn, it's just beautiful and smooth. The paint's worn off it, but the timber itself is still pretty good. We'll try $5 for that. Here's another knife sharpening steel. It's got the bone handle, and there is something written here. probably a Sheffield English one. Joseph, I can't quite make that out. But I think that's a $10 butcher steel pretty easily there. That's a Fowler's Vicola bottle opener, but it's broken out of the bit at the end there, so probably not much good. But the Fowler's tools do sell very well if they're in good condition. And we just grabbed all this cutlery. Some of it, I wonder if some of this suits the cutlery canteen we got. I'm not sure if it does, but we're probably best not throw it out until we check. And the other thing to check is if it's magnetic. So there's stainless steel, magnetic stainless, so there's not much real scrap value there. We do sometimes sell stainless steel cutlery at 3 for $1 in the shop, which is better than scrap price. This one is non-magnetic. It says stainless, so that can go into actual stainless bin, but we're still getting better value, I think, selling it at 3 for $1. So most of this stuff then will just go in the 3 for $1 box, but we will check if this pattern is what we need for the cutlery canteen set. Here we have some meat skewers. Perhaps we could nearly group all those together, or just leave them in the dollar box. Or look, they're unlikely to sell per item, so maybe they'll just go in the scrap bin. Lots of other cutlery here, but nothing special with all that. And then there's a bag of it as well. Which again looks pretty much the same. That's an EPNS, electroplated nickel silver Sheffield soup spoon. That's non-magnetic. That can actually go in your brass. But I do sell the EPNS cutlery at $1 each. However, that one's pretty worn, so I don't think we'd get $1 for that. That has the coat of arms, Australian coat of arms on it. Must have been a government spoon, fork. Don't think it's really worth selling separately. Alright, so no real value on any of the other stuff, except an older style can opener here. Although it's not that old, it's got a barcode on it. And the bottle, the corkscrew looks like it's no good. It's been bent. So that can just go in our scrap bin. So all the stainless steel stuff probably will just go in our $1 or 3 for $1 box. So I won't worry about value for that, but it's certainly better than going in the rubbish bin. In fact, even in the scrap metal bin's better than the rubbish bin. But what did we say here? 10, I think. Fires 15. What did I say for that one? 10 or 15? It's 10 perhaps. So it's 25. And I think we'd go 15 on this. So $40. $40 thrown in the bin. Thank you very much. Okay, let's wind up this deal, and this will complete the stuff we got out of the shed, except for the mowers and the things I'm going to try and get going. I've got my appliance tester hooked up to this paint stripper, and I did find a little piece, a section of cord that is a bit melted, so I wasn't going to pass it as electrically safe anyway. But just have a listen to this. I turn it on. Yep, I better turn it off before it starts smoking. Clearly no good. I'm just going to, oh, I can smell it straight away. I'm just going to chop the cord off after I unplug it, of course. And the cord will go in my scrap bins. The rest of this can just go in the e-waste crate to go to the transfer station. So what does that leave us as far as what I've unpacked? Well, I'm keeping a few things. I decided to keep this Dulux primer. It's for etching galvanized steel before you paint it. It's actually, I was reading it before, it contains 1% nitric acid, 1% phosphoric acid, and 0.5% hydrofluoric acid. So something to be careful of, but it could be very handy if I'm cleaning up any galvanized stuff. I'm going to keep this as well. Now, I was only going to put this in $1 or a couple of dollar box at one stage. I had a quick look online, and someone's trying to sell these for about $70 or $80 on eBay, just the empty can. They're 500 grams, but they do date back to the 80s. And yes, this sort of stuff, you know, petrol-related products, or garage and alia, as they call it, does sell very well these days. But this is near full, And given that the petroleum jelly here is ideal on things such as kitchen appliances, if I have to grease a bearing or something, it's safe to use on that sort of stuff, so I will keep that for sure. The chemicals we'll hang on to here just in case we need, but if I want to get rid of them, I will just have a dollar box at the shop to pass them on. And this other stuff I'm keeping as well, as I pointed out. And this Pope sprinkler, I think it's really cool that it just sprays out one side, so I will put a fitting on that and test it. And if we decide we don't need it, I'll probably put $5 on it, but that's neither here nor there. I went for $5 on the can of paint, given that I don't think it's ever been opened. And I've dropped the price back on these light fittings, just back to $10. Essentially $5 each for those. This one is actually, because it's been opened, it's quite rusty on the inside. And there are some extra bits and some other bits missing, so I'm just going to sell the whole lot for $10 a lot. What else do we have? A lot of $1 stuff. I went through all the cutlery. These items, yes, because I don't know, I'm going to put them with a box of unknown chemicals to take to a recycling facility at some stage. That little glass cutter I did put $5 on. So let's get back to the notepad. We ended up with $90 out of that stuff, most of which was actually in their rubbish bin, all those cutlery pieces and utensils. And I didn't allow anything for the $1 stuff, which we had a lot of, and I didn't allow anything for all the other cutlery other than the good bits. So $90 there. I did up the price of the West German steel to $20. I think that's a pretty good one. And we also had sales earlier in this video of some furniture, so our bottom line's starting to actually look pretty good on this deal. So we'll wind things up here. This finishes episode 6. Episode 7 is already in production, and you will no doubt follow the progression of my eye healing up as we go through these episodes. And sometimes there'll be, sometimes I start filming one that I won't put out till next week, and then I'll finish off one from the last. So it'll be a bit of a crossover. Eventually, hopefully, though I don't look like a panda. So stay watching. Thanks for your support. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.